Welcome into Start, Sit, Different Day. Oh, baby, it is week 9, halfway through the NFL season, halfway through the fantasy football season. Over that, some really good questions lying ahead. Bye weeks now back in play. We had the weird week 8, no bye weeks for anybody, so everyone was free game. But these next few weeks, there's going to be some big names, especially this week, not just out on the injury report, but also having buys, trying to navigate those. A lot of Lions on a bye, and those Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown fantasy managers are not looking pretty right now. So we are here to help answer any of your start-sit questions, some last-minute trade questions too. I know your trade deadlines are coming up. Anything you have, drop it in the chat, and we're here to answer it.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to Start, Sit, Different Day, where we talk start, sit on a different day, because that's where we're at this morning.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Joining us from North Dakota is Kevin Tompkins, who has never drafted an RB, which is factually incorrect, because I've seen it happen. So why are you lying, bro?
Because I've got to brand to uphold, Faith. I mean, I've got to keep...
It's a lie.
I've got to keep the shareholders, at bay here. There's a lot that goes on behind the machinations that go on behind me, not just lighting and jerseys framed. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes.
Is that a tree?
I have no idea. That is a tree. There's the fakest of fake trees.
I was more
fakest.
I was more noted by the Montreal Expos hat because I haven't seen that in 20 years. So
yeah,
I love it.
I mean, look. And anytime you can wear a hat from a team that doesn't exist anymore, I think you got to do it to really show that you know ball and not just football, but baseball.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get a Houston Oilers hat, and say that I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, even though they have no claim to that.
Look, why aren't the Titans why isn't Will Levis holding out for a contract that specifically states on any game he starts they wear those uniforms? That should be his agent should be working on that right now.
If I'm going to wear a hat or merchandise from a team that doesn't exist anymore, it's going to be the Hartford Whalers.
I've got one.
But
that's the whale.
But that's not even cool. That's just okay, everybody has a Hartford Whalers stuff now. The Expos, I can't tell you the last time I've seen anybody wear anything Expos that was not a Vlad Guerrero jersey. So just props to the hat. I can't even think of a team outside of minor league teams that don't exist anymore that I would wear. There was an Arena Football League team called the Manchester Wolves in New Hampshire. I'd rep that shit, but I can't think of a team. So just props
Minnesota
to the
North Stars.
I mean, sure. The Minnesota Lakers, if we really want to,
Yeah.
I guess everyone just does it. Everyone leaves Minnesota. Kirk Cousins left.
Wow, not of his own choice, Joe.
And Andy, I was gonna say Andy left this season.
Yeah, exactly. Left the season. I mean, we don't know. He could have purposely tore his Achilles to sabotage the Viking season. You don't know. Kirko
what
Chains
goes on behind the scenes, you just don't know.
Though?
Listen, Kirko Chains in the NFL script or something else. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. All right, Keegan-Michael Key is a fantastic scriptwriter. We have no idea what's happening.
Guys, let's try not to piss off Scott Fish this morning, okay? Although I couldn't be doing any worse than Scott Fish Bowl. So,
Could be me.
Kevin had the distinct pleasure of riding from Cleveland to Canton with me in August.
That was fun. No, that was a lot of fun though. Honestly,
it was
that whole
Kevin,
lunch
Jody, and Bob Gilchrist. We all learned that Bob Gilchrist is bougie.
Same, dude.
I don't even know if that's the word to describe it.
We were talking about airplanes, Joe, and we were talking about seating arrangements, and because Kevin got on a little plane from Fargo to Chicago. It was a 2-seater. So we were talking about that, and I go, oh, is it only 2 seats down the side? And he goes, yeah. And Bob's like, well, aren't they all 2 seats? I was like, no, most of them are 3 down the side unless you get this big plane. And I go, unless you're in first class. And he goes, oh, well, I never go back there.
You poors that go sit back there.
Absolutely. I mean, I am the guy with platinum status on Delta, so shout out Bob, feel ya. And I have a Cadillac. I will be driving to the expo in a Cadillac next year.
How rich?
Yeah, you say how rich. My car payment's lower than my fiance's, so I just got a sweet fucking deal on it.
Didn't you fly to Vegas to get that car?
I flew to Vegas, baby. I flew to Vegas, made $1,200 at the 3-card poker and craps table, and fucking left.
Nice.
With a car.
What does Maggie drive?
Honda CRV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great car. Great car. Doesn't go 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds, but it's a great car.
Yeah. Great car. I don't think Maggie's looking for it to go 0.
No, I am.
That's why you drive a Cadillac.
I can't wait to drive from Indy to Canton next year and just pull up like that. And whoever wants me on their flag football team, spoiler alert, you're gonna win. So
pulling up.
Spoiler alert. All right, let's talk injuries. Should we do that? We should probably do that. Okay.
We already heard about Kirk Cousins. So
Kirk O'Chains. Well, we already know Kirk O'Chains is dead to the fantasy world.
R.I.P. Kirko.
Yeah, R.I.P. Kirko. And you're not starting him, but Tyrod Taylor is out this week, so maybe Danny J, maybe Tommy D. Who knows? Maybe Danny DeVito will come out from the shadows in his Jersey Mike's commercials and start for the Giants. It can't be any worse.
Or the retirees that are coming back.
Yeah, Dan Marino, Randy Moss, sure. The Tostitos commercials. Justin Fields is doubtful. So Tyson Bagent in line for another start. Stafford and Kyler Murray both questionable. Kyler looking more like he is actually going to play next week than this week. Clayton Tune has already been announced the starter. So it's looking like Murray will not play. Maybe emergency quarterback situations, but he is out. And Stafford, they're basically waiting until the last moment to decide something, but Stafford's probably not playing tomorrow. Emery DeMarcado, Damian Pierce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all out. We don't know. We know most of the injuries, but the undisclosed injury for Damian Pierce is a bruised ego after not even doing anything against the worst run defense in the NFL. Joe Mixon is questionable, and Kendre Miller also has the Q tag. Out. A lot of receivers out. Yeah, one of them you'd probably start. Curtis Samuel, Drake London, Robert Woods, Devontae Parker, Laviska Shenault. Drake London being the man.
It's a name I haven't heard in a hot minute.
Visca? You mean Visca? You mean the Taysom Hill of the Carolina Panthers?
Our Lord and Savior, who, if he had not gotten hurt, would be the RB1 in Carolina, Laviska Shenault?
You don't hear about RBs, Kevin.
Yeah. Laviska Shenault is basically Gale Sayers when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exact song. Yeah, exact same person. Puka Nacua is questionable. D-Hop, why is he on the fucking list? He played Thursday. Ryan, good job for making the list. Ryan makes this list, folks. He put DeAndre Hopkins is questionable for Thursday night's game, which happened 2 nights ago against the Steelers, in which he played in. So there's a 70% chance it's already raining outside. There you go.
It's like you have ESPN or something?
Yes. Joshua Palmer, Josh Downs, Michael Wilson, DJ Chark all have the Q tag as well. Darren Waller out. Doesn't matter. You could start literally any tight end on an NFL roster and have a chance of him being a top 10 tight end. Doesn't matter. All they need is 1 catch for 1 yard and a touchdown. Durham Smythe, you can't start because he's questionable. So we recommend not starting Durham Smythe.
To be fair, he was questionable anyway.
I mean, is he though? Is he?
Yeah. In this offense, yeah. It's so condensed between Hill and Waddle, like it literally doesn't not like he went 3 weeks without getting a target.
All I know is that Pharaoh Brown is the tight end 1 in New England, and he started on the practice squad this year.
That's fair.
And kickers are people too, folks. You want to talk about a team that's down bad? They can't even keep their kicker upright. Graham Gano of the New York Giants is out, and they have Randy Bullock on their practice squad, and I can't even think of who. Cade York, I believe they signed to their active roster. The fact Randy Bullock is even uttered in the same sentence as NFL kickers is insane. That man should be scratching for an indoor football league roster spot, let alone an NFL roster spot. But there are your injuries for the weeks, folks. that gave us enough time to rattle in some questions from some of our favorites who are always in here. Elixirs, Josh, Caesar. Faith, go for it.
All right. So Elixirs is here to talk about his dad's team. He says, so let's say, hypothetically, Dad Elixirs has Drake London on his starting roster. Let's also say that the only other wide receivers are Debo, who are injured, and this ungod himself, who is on a bye. And the only player that they could drop, Tajay Spears, has played. But apparently there is also another hypothetical. They could drop Taysom Hill and start Kyle Pitts and pick up Demario Douglas, or Brandin Cooks. So I guess the question is, are you dropping Taysom to start Kyle Pitts and pick up any of those others, or are you just going to live and let die? Kevin.
Like, you're asking the guy here that skews, that is a noted ageist, and whenever you see Kyle Pitts, those 10 characters pop up, that my eyes are automatically drawn to it. I mean, I would rather have Pitts this week than Taysom Hill for sure. I would probably rather have him over. I mean, maybe not Demario Douglas. That's kind of the thing, because who else does New England have? Like Devontae Parker out.
Would you like me to tell you, as a Patriots fan? Would you like me?
Say, can we?
If you say Jalen Reagor, I swear.
Well, hey, let me tell you. Demario Douglas, option 1. Pharaoh Brown, option 2. A healthy scratch Juju Smith-Schuster, option 3. How about a healthy scratch Tyquan Thornton, wide receiver 4? Hold on, Kevin, one more. How about a healthy scratch Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver 5?
He's a healthy scratch. They just said that he had his best practice.
Guys.
What the French toast?
No. I'm just saying in previous weeks, the only wide receiver that is either not out or has not been a healthy scratch this season is Demario Douglas. So, I picked up Douglas in every league I possibly could. I went dumpster diving. And at this point, I don't know if you've kept up with the Commander schedule, but this is the week they're supposed to suck, because they have gone back and forth on playing good and playing horribly this
Fingers
season.
Crossed.
So, and they just traded 2 like first round defensive ends that the Patriots don't need to worry about. I don't know. I like Douglas. Flip a coin on the tight ends. It doesn't fucking matter. I will never say Taysom Hill. So, Elixirs, you already know I'll never say Taysom Hill, but I like Demario Douglas over Brandin Cooks if we're going in that instance. If not, take the fucking L. Like, you're not dropping Debo, Drake London, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, you're not. So
no. Like, that game could be like one of the ugliest 38-32 games in recorded history. The Patriots play fast anyway. We know Washington can just passes the ball. They have the highest pass rate over expectation. So, like, this game could be like one of those weird, you don't expect it. It's on till like 5:00 Eastern on Fox, because there's so much scoring and time just keeps stopping. Sam Howell throws for like 475 yards and 5 interceptions. It could be like one of the ugliest games in history, but great for fantasy, because who else are you throwing to in New England? So yeah, give me Demario Douglas. Let's like in DFS, he's like the chalkiest chalk that's ever chalked. And I do actually have Juju Smith-Schuster on a
drop him
GPP lineup. He's 3,100. I'll think about
that's 3,200 too expensive. They should be paying you money to put Juju Smith-Schuster in your lineup.
You have not seen me. You don't want to pay me to do anything as far athletic, unless it's running to a car to get like food from DoorDash or something.
Well, that's fine. We'll put you in the DoorDash Olympics.
Okay. I feel like that should be a thing.
The beer Olympics.
The beer Olympics. I didn't say this earlier, Kevin, but I'm vibing with the mustache. It works for you.
Look, no, this is residual from the Arthur Smith Halloween costume. So
you don't like it?
You could have just said No Shave November.
I could have, but I'm a man of, like I said, shareholders. I got to be truthful here.
Okay.
I haven't shaved my face in about over a decade, so this is really weird. This is gone. Like, as soon as back.
Love it.
All right. So Josh wants to talk trade. He said, Would you do this trade in a 20-team, Lord Jesus, PPR? So he'd be trading away Jaren Hall and Jones for Javonte Williams, T. Higgins, and Derek Carr. His current roster is Lamar Jackson, JT, Jones, Tyreek, DJ Moore, George Kittle, and Christian Kirk.
There's a phrase I like to say here: run to the podium. Run, don't walk. Anytime you can get Jaren Hall in a trade for Javonte, Higgins, and Carr, like 100%. Like Aaron Jones for Javonte, I would have issues with straight up. Like Javonte's on a nice trajectory now as pretty much the solidified number one back with Samaje Perine and Jaleel McLaughlin kind of taking away from each other rather than from Javonte. So 100% click the button. Yes, make this trade 100%.
Joe?
You're trading a future backup quarterback and a running back in an offense that doesn't use him for a guy who's had 3 straight weeks of 20-plus fantasy points at the quarterback position. Javonte Williams, who, is in a split backfield, and T. Higgins just has upside when he's not injured. You don't need Aaron Jones. You 1,000% don't need Jaren Hall. Yes, like at this moment in time, you're trading like 4 and 5 in this trade for 1, 2, and 3. Easy win. And he has, do you value Williams over Jones? At this fucking point,
get there, Joe.
I'm just easy segue. At this point in time, Aaron Jones is a pile of shit. At this point in time, he is awful, and that's not because of him. It's because of mostly the play system and the calling that is happening, and the fact that he can't stay healthy. And I love T. Higgins. He's injured. It's Jamar Chase and the field in that offense. Joe Mixon gets a lot of run, but it's Jamar Chase. Higgins will have his time, but yeah, you want Higgins over both of those guys at the current moment. So,
yeah. As a Packer fan, it's gross. Just the way Aaron Jones is managed to a degree anyway when he is healthy, and now you're just compounding that with an injury now. So yeah. They said the chains are off or whatever the phrase they used for Aaron Jones. Like he's not going to be limited. Pretty much they said, paraphrasing, but I don't know if I even believe that until I see it. That's the way. That's the kind of trust that Matt LaFleur has with fantasy managers, with people that are trying to prognosticate what this team is going to be doing. Like Green Bay is in a free fall right now, and this is like a get right game where they're likely going up against Brett Rippon, and they need a game at home. If they drop this one,
blow it up.
Kevin,
well, it's actually too late to blow it up because the trade deadline's gone, but blow it up.
I just want to inform you that prognosticate is kind of a big word for a Saturday morning. I'm going to need you to rein it in there, buddy.
Look, I am a product of the New York State public education system, so that's one of the holdovers, so I do apologize.
All right. So Caesar is popping in with just some words of wisdom for elixirs. He just says, please don't drop Taysom Hill right before his 50-point masterpiece. Joe, will Taysom Hill have a 50-point masterpiece this week?
Go away. Go away, Caesar.
He's more likely to have a disaster piece than a masterpiece.
And so Elixirs is just asking a clarifying question because, Kevin, I don't know if you realize this. It's a standard league
We love elixirs.
We love elixirs.
We love them and we hate them.
STD leagues. So he's just clarifying question. In a standard, will Taysom Hill outscore Kyle Pitts and Demario Douglas / Brandin Cooks? Kevin.
To that, I will say no.
Joe.
No. I mean, there's no way that happens, right? I mean, there's no way.
I mean, there's a way, but is that way really a realistic range of outcome? No.
Is there a parlay that I can do for this, or is there a bet?
Taysom plus 33.5 fantasy points.
I mean, yeah, I would. That's got to be plus $1 million. I'd put $10 on it.
Yeah.
I put $10 on a free bet. I've put $10 free from FanDuel on a free bet that was like plus 3 million on a parlay. I'm like, fuck it. If it hits, I bet the Browns and Colts score to be 13-6, and within 30 seconds of that game kicking off, the Colts score a touchdown and an extra point. I'm like, well, that was, the 383,000 I was about to win. You know what?
That was a fun sweat.
It was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah, it was a good time. So,
speaking of Taysom Hill, Cap for Life needs you to pick two, or just
this is
X1.
easy.
So Trey McBride, Taysom Hill, or Chuba Hubbard. Kevin, who are you not starting?
Who am I not starting? I mean, is it full PPR? Does it matter? I mean,
I believe Cap.
I'm not starting Taysom. I'm not starting Taysom.
You're I hate Taysom Hill, and I am not playing Trey McBride. Clayton Tune.
Why did you?
I think if anybody is going to be fine for McBride, it's Clayton Tune. If we're being honest, like his at least we know a little bit about like the offense that he ran in college was a little more wide open, so he could throw the ball a little bit. But I mean, we know he's a placeholder. I think he's gonna ball a little bit just based on expectation. Yeah, like I think if he's good for anybody, it's probably Trey McBride because that offense, even like Marquise Brown, who people are starting almost without question, and I almost don't get it because he's been so inefficient all season. Like, I don't know. I'm a bear on Marquise Brown, but I'm definitely a bull on Trey McBride. So, yeah.
I'm out on McBride.
Always a bridesmaid, never a McBride.
Exactly.
So, Leo has a trade question. Would you trade Olave and White for Swift? He currently has Adams, Waddle, Myers, Flowers, Devonta Smith. He also has Alvin Kamara, but only Madison and White. Kevin.
Trading Olave to, I mean, I don't even know if you have to give up White for that. Honestly, I would trade Olave for Swift. I know that, Chris Olave is our generation's Marquez Valdez-Scantling as far as air yards that you can't do anything with that don't turn into actual yards. Like he is the air yards merchant looking for the redemption stand to what can I do with these air yards when I go 1 for 12 every game. But like, if you're like in the know and knowing the downfield targets that he's getting, like they're high variance, he's going to catch in. So I don't think I would be trading Chris Olave right now. You're almost trading him at pennies for the dollar, but I wouldn't involve White in this trade. See if he can do Olave for Swift straight up. If you can't, then you got to do what you got to do because you really don't need Olave when you have the wide receivers you have. But I mean, I like Swift as a pretty decent upgrade over White just because I have a feeling Chase Edmonds is going to work his way in, and White's going to end up turning into more of like the Devin Singletary-esque running back target out of the backfield more than a guy who's going to be getting 15 carries each game.
Joe.
So I'm okay with this trade. Why don't we float Davante Adams' name out there? I mean, that's a shit show in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, you maybe not sitting as pretty, or hey, float Myers out there. Like Myers had a great season, but just throw Davante Adams at the Jonathan Taylor manager and just see. Like, what's the worst that happens? No.
Yeah.
Just float him out there. Because if you have Kamara and JT, also if you get JT before tomorrow, you're gonna be very happy. But
yep.
That is a mess in Vegas, and we've seen Aiden O'Connell. He's young. Yes, I'm sure he will look at Devontae. I'm pretty sure he did look at him a lot when they played the Chargers, but I like float him out. You have enough receivers to where you can recover from losing Davante Adams and him not having the best of seasons he's ever had so far. And if you go get a guy like Jonathan Taylor, float Davante Adams' name out there for one of the top 5 running backs. And yes, JT's not technically top 5. He's going to be the best fucking running back this week. But just float him out there. Float it out there because I don't like the Raiders a lot the rest of the season. Devontae's going to be more down the field, and Myers is going to be closer, so I like Myers a little more than Devontae just because of his PPR upside. I don't hate the trade. If you have to go with that trade, that's fine. Go get DeAndre Swift. Upgrade your running backs. Olave's, he's very frustrating. But float Adams out there. Fuck it. Float Adams out there. Could be fun.
Real quick, speaking of the hot mess that is the Las Vegas Raiders right now, is Josh McDaniels coming back to New England, Joe?
Yes, he will come back next year after they fire Bill O'Brien, and they will give one more year of Mac Jones, which is going to absolutely piss me the fuck off because they are going to say, oh, well, the best year Mac Jones had was under Josh McDaniels in his rookie season, and I'm going to want to punt a wall and flip cars over and light them on fire like Canucks fans did in 2011. I am going to be so angry when that happens. You have no idea. I'm going to be livid. So, do I want Josh McDaniels back? 100% yes. Do I want Mac Jones as my quarterback? No. I said it on Wednesday. I'd take a cutout of the San Francisco 49ers turf because I think it's more valuable than Mac Jones. Okay? I am done with Pee Wee Arm McCorkle. Get him the fuck out of here. Give me Jakobi Myers back. I want him at my quarterback. I don't even want him at fucking receiver. I want him at quarterback at this point. God, let's run the fucking Wildcat because Ramondre Stevenson is better in all aspects than Mac Jones.
Don't let Zeke block.
Dude, it is aggressively painful watching Ezekiel Elliott run the football. It has been for 3 seasons. What did we think was like, oh, no. We've brought in Reggie Wayne, Joey Galloway, Chad Ochocinco at the end of their careers, and they've done great in a Patriots uniform, right? Right? Because Reggie Wayne didn't make the roster, Joey Galloway didn't make the roster, and Ochocinco didn't know what a fucking seam route was. So what did we think bringing Ezekiel Elliott in was going to do?
What the sad thing is, he's been more efficient than Ramondre. Like it's been like a mind fuck.
Because Ramondre Stevenson is a volume running back that needs to run in a tailback situation. They're running out of the gun, and it's not like give Ramondre a break. It is 1 series Ramondre, 1 series Zeke, and that has pissed Patriots fans off this entire fucking season because it is horrid watching Ezekiel Elliott play football. He fumbled last week, and I'm like, Bill, you going to bench him like you did Demario? Because that would be great if you could bench Zeke right now, please. Next fucking question.
All right.
It's the Puka question.
Cap wants to know Puka or JSN. Hold on. I mean, there is only one jersey behind Kevin's head. Does that play anything into any of this?
How about the fact he doesn't have his quarterback this week?
Yeah. I mean,
minor details.
Look, JSN is a guy who's still like his routes dip back to like 67-68% from when DK was out, and Jake Bobo pretty much took DK's snap route share. But that's the one thing that's like a little bit concerning is that JSN went back to that. But the fact that they used him on a bubble screen when they needed a touchdown to go ahead was very, very bullish. So I'm like, if Puka's playing, I think it's a coin flip, honestly, because you have to downgrade him because of the quarterback. You have to downgrade him because the offense has looked pretty shitty last couple of weeks. Even against Arizona, they played like the first half they passed, and then the second half was literally let's run Kyron, and then obviously he got hurt. Give me JSN.
Joe.
I don't think I've used
roller coaster. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I've used this once this season, but floor Puka, ceiling JSN, because if Puka, obviously this question could get answered for you, but if Puka plays, he has a decent floor. Like he's at least going to have 5 catches. They're probably not going to be too far down the field. It might be like he might have like a 5 for 50 kind of day, a solid 10 points. Like Puka has a good floor. JSN could get you 20 because there's a chance that he breaks away a big one. That is going to be a back and forth affair between Baltimore. If not, I mean, they're going to have to throw to stay in that game.
Yeah.
I don't love West Coast going to East Coast for a 1:00 game. That always, holds me back at that point. But I mean, Puka is doing the same thing. It's West Coast to Central time, even though they're at a 4:00 kickoff. I would go JSN because I think he has higher upside. I'm in a situation. I'm contemplating benching Puka in multiple leagues because of the injury and because of the quarterback situation. If Matt Stafford was in a quarterback, this isn't even a question. But because he's not, I would go Smith and Njigba. We're gonna eat our words for that, obviously, but Jaxon Smith and Njigba is the safer play.
Yeah, Puka is like the glass of warm milk that you have to drink. JSN is the fuck it we ball play.
Yeah, the fuck it we ball.
Joe, Cap wants to know what the weather looks like for
that
Ravens game.
You know what, Cap? Great question. Let's pull up the always trustworthy, never wrong weather.com. Let's pull it up because let me tell you that I don't think they got a single fucking forecast right in the state of North Dakota last year. But let's pull it up. Maybe they're right in Maryland. It is 70 degrees, sunny, with 8-mile-per-hour winds in November. That 70 is going to feel like 102 in Jamaica. It's going to be awesome.
Kevin, what's the temperature in Fargo today?
I don't even know. I haven't been outside in like 6 days.
Hey, Kevin, how much snow is on the ground in Fargo is the actual question.
It melted, actually.
Oh, did it? It hasn't melted in Bismarck, so...
No.
Yeah, I
Bismarck
saw...
further north than Fargo?
No, it literally exact same latitudinal line, but Fargo normally doesn't get it as bad as Bismarck.
Right. It is 31, by the way.
I feel like that's warm. That's balmy for November.
Nope.
In Fargo.
It's a sliding scale. Like we're going downhill. Like tomorrow it's gonna be like 60 mile an hour, winds Lord. And
65 and sunny in Indianapolis. So
my favorite Joe story will forever be Bismarck to Boston. 100-degree difference.
Yep, woke up. It was negative 55 at 5 a.m. Flew on a plane, and 5 hours later, I was in 55-degree weather. It was awesome.
I was ready to go jump in the Boston Harbor.
I was ready to fucking swim. Dad, take me to the beach.
All right, Caesar coming in hot with
Stop with the Taysom Hill questions, you fucking asses. I know Caesar's doing this to piss me off. I know he is.
The best part about it is that it works.
Well, I'm playing into it, obviously. But Caesar, first off, eat shit. All right? Fuck you. I can say that because you're in here first every single week. So fuck you.
Cap thinks it's funny.
Eat shit.
Caesar's also
respectfully, GFY.
Yeah.
Respectfully, and I cannot emphasize that enough.
Disrespectfully.
I mean, it's such a fucking valid question because Jaren Hall's the quarterback.
That's where I stayed in college. Was Jaren Hall?
Oh, you decided to pop in today.
I will go. The man who shall not be named.
The man who shall not be named.
Who shall not be named in my starting lineup.
I'm still going Hockenson. I know it's Jaren Hall. It's Atlanta. Arthur Smith will do something dumb, keep Minnesota in the game.
That's fair. That is very fair.
I mean, the dude. Don't get me started on that, dude. Did you see the Athletic article that came out about him going trading barbs with Kurt Warner? About his actual, he did a Twitter thread. Kurt Warner did a Twitter thread, easy for me to say, about Arthur Smith's offense. Valid points, valid analysis. And then Arthur Smith just railed him and said he doesn't, basically paraphrasing, he doesn't know what he's talking about. A Hall of Fame quarterback doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hey. That's former grocery store bagger Kurt Warner.
Northern Iowa Barnstormer. Or Iowa Barnstormer.
Yeah, Iowa Barnstormer. A proud IFL affiliate now, Iowa Barnstormer. Put some fucking respect on it.
And then our second favorite Zillow, I'm going to hop around for a second while we're on this topic. G wants to know Cole Kmet or Taysom Hill. And for those of you
I'm not even putting that as a timestamp in the show sheet.
There you go. Smart. Cole Kmet is widely hated here at Club Fantasy. And when I posted in our team group chat last week that Cole Kmet outscored Travis Kelce, Ryan Weiss said, burn this app to the ground.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Cole Kmet. Good luck with Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis this week. So you might be lucky to get one catch on your 5 targets this week.
And that's in New Orleans, too. Always a tough place to play.
All right. Caesar wants to know, can CJ Stroud be trusted this week? His only other option is Geno Smith and the waiver wire. Kevin, would you run with Stroud, or are you starting Geno, or are you just running scared to the waiver wire, desperate for anybody else?
Oh, that North Dakota Wi-Fi might have froze. Ruh-roh. Joe's up
first. We back. We good?
We're here now. We're here now.
I got the spinny windows. That hardly ever happens.
Do you have Midco?
Sure do.
Yep. Classic Midco. Continue.
Classic Midco. No, I'm good with Stroud. I mean, he's probably back end top 12 quarterback. I mean, Tampa Bay they can be passed on a little bit. Their strength is their outside corners, but I'm fine with CJ's. Last week was so weird as far as them completely going away from everything that has made them moderately successful as far as moving the ball on offense. Like, they went so run heavy in a galaxy brain move to kind of outsmart the 0-6 Carolina Panthers, and it didn't work. So maybe finally they've realized that Bobby Sloak has gone into the PFF Elite tab on his browser where he used to work and said, hey, maybe we don't give the ball to Dameon Pierce. Well, we can because he's out, but maybe we definitely don't give the ball to Devin Singletary. Maybe we don't try to run the ball 4 times with Andrew Beck and let him fumble. So maybe we let CJ Stroud throw to Noah Brown and Tank Dell and Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz and try to get this win. So I like Stroud to get back to like the 40 pass attempt marker, where if he does that and they're at least moderately efficient, he's going to get 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm good with it.
Joe,
I hope he can be trusted, because the way to beat Tampa Bay is through the air. It's not on the ground. So yeah. I hope they heed Kevin's words and throw the fucking football, because that is. Do
you want to run into Vita Vea's stomach? No,
I don't want to run into Vita Vea at any point. I
don't want to run into
alley in a Kroger
subway.
Yeah, I don't want to run into him at a Hornbachers. I don't want to run into
a what?
North Dakota grocery store.
Yeah, that's some North Dakota shit right there. Don't worry.
If you know, Faith.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be if I mentioned Publix.
I know Publix is.
Everyone knows what Publix is.
I'm not a heathen.
Yeah, everyone knows what Publix is.
I mean, I am.
Nobody knows
as far as grocery stores.
Nobody knows what, Joe?
I don't know what the fuck. Whatever he said. Whatever the fuck.
Hornbachers?
Yeah, yeah, Buc-ee's, whatever.
Oh, Buc-ee's is magical.
Food Lion.
Yeah, Food Lion. Nice.
I was when I went out west with my family last month. We passed a King Soopers, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I don't know why.
That was me when I went to Maryland, and because obviously I'm from Syracuse, born and raised, but like Wegmans is massive. That's like the one thing that I miss from upstate New York is Wegmans. So
where did we? Stu Leonard's. I was like, where did we go in Connecticut? We went to Stu's.
I don't even know.
I miss good pizza. So
it ain't here.
It was definitely there was one place in Bismarck that was pretty good. It was called Craftcade. They do New York style pizza. It was pretty good, but it still ain't even touching anything back home. So
have you gotten any better pizza in Indy, Joe?
There's a spot that is served by the slice, and they do garlic knots, so they know what they're doing. It's a sweeter sauce, so I'm not like too sweet on the pizza.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. Definitely was good. I would repeat. How about that? I'd repeat that location. It was solid.
Big basil oregano sauce guy.
I do enjoy that. I love a quattro formaggi.
Formaggi.
Yeah, little 4 cheese. All right, let's go. Next one. Killa.
Yeah, Paul.
All right, Killa Quick over on Twitch. Heyo says, would you trade Mostert and Rice for Waddle? He has worked Walker Barkley, Jeff Wilson, and Connor coming back. And he's also got Ridley, Lamb, Watson, Shaheed, and Dell as his wide receivers. So with that lineup, are you trading Mostert and Rice for Jaylen, Waddle, Kevin?
I'm good with that. I mean, I would say that if there's a time where you could trade Raheem Mostert and get fair value for him, this week might be the last week to do that. Like with Devin HN coming back, he's already on the Twitter machine with a video doing some cuts. That's certainly going to be ramping up as he comes off of IR. Jeff Wilson, I feel like they're going to be ramping him up a little bit more. I understand that. I mean, nobody's a bigger bull on the Miami offense than me, as far as we know it literally takes one play for like these guys to go off. And so that allows Mostert and HN and like the 1 week where they scored 70 points. They're not going to be doing that, but they had like 3 running backs at least get 70 yards rushing. Chris Brooks had 70 yards rushing. This can happen for all these backs, but as far as like ceiling projections for Mostert, I mean, I think he's probably had the best weeks of his season where he could kind of fall back into like a high-end RB2 kind of role. So to be able to get a guy with Rice for Jaylen Waddle, who we know that offense is so condensed to Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle for 60% of the targets every week, 100%. And you still have Barkley and Walker, and if Jeff Wilson comes on, James Conner is likely coming off of IR soon too. So I like it.
Joe,
I'm staying put. I like Rice a lot. I also every time I see Rice,
I was going to say when are you ever starting him, but there's serious questions after Ridley and Lamb. But I do like Watson, Shaheed, and Dell too. So
I think Christian Watson. I know you're a Packers fan. I think Christian Watson is a blind bison who hasn't figured out anything yet. And I love Rashee Shaheed, darling. Absolutely love
Shaheed.
Oh, I love Rashee Shaheed. We said before the season, we're like, this is going to be the best ball guy ever. Rashee Shaheed.
Our generation's Will Fuller.
Oh, but better. Like a million times better. And obviously Tank Dell, very good so far as well. I would keep it. I'm not for trading running back depth for a receiver that's had 2 pop weeks. Yes, Jaylen Waddle is really fucking good. Like, yes, I understand that. But he also he had 120 yards against the Patriots secondary. Calm down, okay? Calm down. And also, the same touchdown he scored on was the exact same play he scored on last year against the Patriots, because apparently they can't fucking figure it out when the team runs the same exact fucking play of, let's send Tyreek in motion and let's get fucked up on our communication, and we're just going to leave Jaylen Waddle wide open in the middle of the field. So, I also think if Kansas City wants to start winning real football games and not like, we're skating by, or, we played the Chargers, they need to get Rashee Rice involved because they don't have any receivers outside of him that remotely have any NFL skill warranted to be on that field. I think Justin Ross can be good, but they don't, apparently.
And he has like legal issues now.
Yes,
too,
so that isn't helping. Yeah. Rashee Rice, speed, route running, good hands. He's had a couple rookie drops. That happens. But he's open. They need to get him more involved, and Mahomes needs to start trusting him more because none of the other receivers are open. If Kansas City wants to win in the second half of this year and start pulling away, they're winning their division, no problem. Look at their fucking division. They're winning it, no issues. But if they want to have a chance in the playoffs and maybe repeat, Rashee Rice needs to be involved in this offense. Because Isaiah Pacheco runs like a blind bat.
And the thing is when he is on the field, he is like plenty involved. Like his targets per route run, very high. Which should be a sign to Andy Reid or whoever that, hey, maybe we need to get this guy on the field a little more and not have the blind deer Sky Moore, not being able to track a football, or Marquez Valdes-Scantling they have treadmills for that kind of cardio. Like you don't need to be on the field to do that. So. Correct. I don't get it. Yeah.
All right. Our newer friend Quincy wants to know he needs to start 2 receivers and a flex. So there is Waddle, Flowers, Jakobi Meyers, Josh Palmer, Pope Douglas, Zach Moss, Chuba Hubbard, and Tank Dell. Kevin.
I'm going to start calling him Chuba Chubber now because it rolls off the tongue. I mean, Chuba Hubbard already rolled off the tongue pretty well, but I mean, the alliteration only helps matters. Waddle, Zay, I think have to be there. You're really looking at, I can't trust Jakobi. I don't want to trust Jakobi Meyers. I would probably say, based on what we've said, Pop Douglas.
Doesn't that hurt? Doesn't it just hurt?
It's not quite to the point of a little piece of me dies inside, but I mean, it definitely has like a kidney stone or something.
Joe.
So you need one wide receiver definite and two flex, right? The one definite. Oh wow. You got to go Waddle. You have to imagine that is somewhat decent scoring. And I also think Kansas City secondary is just aggressively overrated. After that, Zach Moss and Demario Douglas. I don't like it, but Zach Moss is playing the worst run defense known to mankind. Yep. Pop Douglas and flip a coin on Zach Moss or Chuba Hubbard. Flip a coin. I'm good with either of those. Yeah.
All right.
Disgusting.
Chris needs, in a full PPR, he needs to drop a player for the tight end spot. So who would you drop? Jakobi Meyers, Ramondre Stevenson, Rachaad White. He still has Mostert, Hall, Cup, Lamb, and Chase. Kevin.
Probably be dropping Jakobi Meyers. I mean, I feel like that should be a harder choice right now, but we talked about the Raiders and how that offense could just absolutely. I mean, we know they've pretty much cratered, but there's still more room for cratering.
Joe.
He's waffling on Ramondre. I know.
I know.
100%. But don't drop any of them because the tight end you're going to pick up is going to have 2 points. So it doesn't matter. That's my thought is you're picking up a tight end that's going to do now, because I imagine the tight end you have is probably Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews or George Kittle. Like there's very few tight ends you're not dropping to pick up a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I have to imagine that tight end's good.
Yeah. You're likely picking up what? Tyler Conklin?
Jonnu Smith. Like you're not picking up anybody good. So like
I have to start Jonnu Smith in King's Classic.
I am like I started Queen's Classic so well, and now it's just
I personally would stay put. If you really want to drop somebody, I normally go with the guy people are least likely to want to go after.
Mm-hmm.
In the current state, I'd probably Jakobi Meyers, just because of everything going on with the Raiders. But the issue is if the Raiders look good this week, you just lost. So you lost Jakobi Meyers. You're not getting him back.
You're losing a wide receiver 3.
Yeah. Like you're losing a consistent flex play who can act as a wide receiver 2 some weeks. Like that's scary. I would not drop the tight end. Or I would not drop any of them.
All right. Jonathan wants to know for pick 2 in a full PPR and an extra point for first downs. Are you going Chris Godwin, Nico, or Gabe Davis? So who aren't you starting, Kevin?
It's probably Gabe Davis. Like his role with Dawson Knox out, Gabe Davis's role changed to more of like the routes that Dawson Knox was running. Like 75% of them went to Gabe Davis. Like he was running more in the line of scrimmage than he ever has in his career, and that seems like that's a direct response to not having Dawson Knox. I mean, they had Dalton Kincaid was the only tight end for Buffalo that was active on that Thursday night game. And he was running a little bit higher ADOT, but Gabe Davis's ADOT shrunk considerably. He was running more of a diverse route tree, so that's kind of where I would be able to cut him from this equation, where I'd rather have Godwin, I'd rather have Nico on a game that could also be one of those kind of ugly shootout games, Tampa and Houston. But I mean, I don't know. We know Gabe Davis is so hit or miss, and I don't feel like he's very hard to roster or very hard to start and click and feel good about.
Gabe Davis is the early 2010s, late 2000s New Orleans Saints receiver without having Sean Payton on as his head coach. Could be 25 points. Could have 2 targets. We don't know. And I am never confident starting that guy. Plus, Godwin and Nico, I think, Godwin's matchup on paper isn't great. He'll be fine. And Nico,
it's like a locked in 8-9 targets though.
Like everyone's like, oh, should I bench Adam Thielen against the Texans? Their third fewest wide receiver points, 11 targets, 8 catches for 72 yards. He's fine.
Like it doesn't matter when Adam Thielen is basically a tight end safety valve.
Yep, easy. Doesn't matter. And Nico should have a great week against that. I mean, sorry excuse for a secondary, Antoine Winfield notwithstanding. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So bench Gabe Davis.
All right. Hi, Rachel. She needs to start one Algier heel or Ingram. We'll just add a southern accent to it.
I imagine that's Taysom Hill, right?
Probably. Kevin.
All right. Well, here's the thing about Keontae Ingram. It's the worst backfield in the history of backfields this week with DeMarcado out. So it's literally going to be Ingram and Tony Jones. And if you want to figure out how Arizona is going to manage that backfield against the Cleveland Browns, more power to you. That's I'm not in that. I don't know ball enough to want to kind of figure that one out. So it would be Arthur Smith's ego wanting to give Tyler Algier 15 targets on a team that also employs Bijan Robinson or Taysom Hill. And you know what the sad thing is? I want to say Taysom Hill very, very badly.
Joe?
I am going to say, because my heart is with this man, and it is his backfield this week, Keontae Ingram. Because I saw him play at USC. And the man is actually very good. So he has a shot. He has a chance. Yes, it's against a quote-unquote vaunted Cleveland Browns defense. Reminder, they gave up 38 fucking points to the Colts.
Sure did.
The Colts. Guys, Cleveland's defense is not good. Counterpoint, Arizona's offensive line. Also not good. So
which one is the most not good?
The most not good is Arizona, but there's also a chance Keontae Ingram has a pretty decent game.
Who will score more actual NFL points? The Arizona Cardinals or Myles Garrett? I think that's a fair question.
I don't think Myles Garrett has any points on the board this year.
That's fine.
He's a safety.
Okay, yeah, all right. There you go. He has 2 points.
All right.
Will the Arizona Cardinals score more than 2 points this week? Let's see. Yeah, Keontae Ingram.
It's a good prop bet. George wants to know if he should drop Quentin for Jeff Wilson, and G, like always, popping in and says that Jeff Wilson stays no matter what. So Kevin,
season,
it's finally here.
I mean, it's all context driven.
Like season is finally here. G's finally right about it.
It's all context driven. I mean, I don't know what your roster is. I could tell you what your running back depth is, what your wide receiver depth is. I mean, if you have a roster spot where you can afford to hold Quentin Johnson, if you're starting studs upon studs and but you need running back depth, then Absolutely. You can do that. But I am encouraged by the fact that Quentin Johnston is seeing more targets, is getting on the field more, running more routes. He ran, the last 2 weeks, he's run 69 and 66% of routes, which is two of the highest that he's had all season. And now, obviously, with Josh Palmer banged up, Keenan Allen, I don't really trust any of the Chargers tight ends week to week. Like, in an offense that looked a lot better with Austin Eckler and looked more Chargers-esque, there's always room for a third wide receiver target. And I think Quentin Johnston, they're going to give him every chance to be that. So I think you still have to hold him, but if you need the running back, I get it.
Joe?
I don't like Quentin Johnston.
Well, he doesn't like you.
Probably not with the way I've talked about him. I would not drop him for Jeff Wilson. To all of Kevin's points, it's about fucking time they actually looked at their first round wide receiver 7 weeks after Mike Williams goes down with an injury, considering you drafted him to literally be Mike Williams. So that's, positive. And Brandon Staley like, oh, maybe I should do this to save my job. That's probably a good idea. I don't love Quentin Johnston. I think he's overrated. But in an offense with Justin Herbert, with a defense that can't stop a nosebleed and should have probably, if Justin Fields plays, get smacked in that game defensively, you got to keep Johnson in your lineup. He's going to piss you the fuck off, but Jeff Wilson will also piss you the fuck off on your bench too, so it doesn't matter. So keep Johnston.
All right. G is warning me about Missouri today as a Georgia fan. G, I ain't worried. There's no point in worrying because I can't do anything about it.
I took Georgia minus 15.5 in a parlay, so I'd like that to hit. I don't even know. I don't know enough about college football. I took 4 teams in a parlay, bet $5 to win 65. So we're gonna see if it hits. We're gonna see.
All right. Killa says he traded Pittman and AJ Dillon for Mostert when Connor went down. The other player had Aaron Jones. He hasn't had the look out of Ridley he thought he was going to get, and he feels like he needs a second wide receiver that he can trust every week. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
Well, I do like the fact that you did trade Pittman and Dillon for Mostert. I do like that. Now, I'm assuming you're trying thoughts on, let's see, I haven't had the luck out of Ridley. So you're Ridley for Aaron Jones, I'm assuming, is the implication here of the trade.
No,
Aaron Jones.
He's just asking if we should go get a second wide receiver that he can.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, without the rest of your roster, I can't really tell you, but I mean, you can't. You're asking the guy that rosters about 1,000 wide receivers on his bench, like every other spot is a wide receiver because of bye weeks, but.
And also, Kevin doesn't believe in running backs.
No, they are.
Yeah, ask a guy that drafts 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds almost exclusively here. So I don't know. Like you have Mostert, you have Connor. I mean, float out Raheem Mostert. Like we had a question earlier. Float out Raheem Mostert and see what he can maybe get you for a wide receiver. You could roll the dice and gamble he has a bomb of a week this week against Kansas City, or at least maybe goes for 100 and a touchdown.
Okay, hold on.
Mostert
hold on. Throwing something out here. So he adds in no.
Oh, this is coming from the previous question.
So he traded Pittman and AJ Dillon to get Mostert when Connor went down. So now he's asking.
Okay, so
trade Mostert and Rice for Waddle.
Oh,
so he wants Waddle, but no, you have Rashee Rice. That's your wide receiver too. Live with it, enjoy it. Trust me. It's going to get better. I have just such a feeling it's going to get better with Rashee Rice.
Hashtag it gets better.
There's no way that there's not going to be a second option in that Chiefs offense. Because what are you going to – at that point, just double cover Travis Kelce on every play. They don't have another option. So Rashee Rice has to be that guy. I fully, firmly believe Rashee Rice will be good moving forward.
All right, gentlemen, it is noon, which means we are going into what we call the lightning round. So I'm going to ask a question. I just need an answer. We don't have time for details. We don't have time to elaborate. I just need an answer. Details. All right. Marco says in a half PPR, for tight end, he's got Schultz, Taysom Hill, Jake Ferguson, or Pitts. Who are you starting at tight end? We'll start there. Kevin.
I like Jake Ferguson this week. Also, you said lightning round. You'll be hearing from my lawyers about that. And also,
honey, that term was around long before you. So,
we'll have court documents prove that. At flex. I was. God, this is like a now or never Pollard.
Joe.
Bah. Yeah. Who does Dallas play this week? Jake Ferguson is normally the answer. Yeah. Jake Ferguson, and then. DJ Moore, baby. Light him up. Fuck Marshawn Lattimore.
He also has Trey McBride.
Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson.
All right. So Ray Gamer says he needs help in his flex spot. So DK versus the Ravens, Kareem Hunt versus Cardinals, or Josh Downs versus the Panthers in a standard league. First of all, we're going to hook you up with elixirs. You guys can talk standard all day long. So standard league, Metcalf, Hunt, or Downs, Kevin?
I want to say Hunt, but they seem like to be managing that whole thing in Cleveland. Give me DK Metcalf. And standard. Yeah, give me Metcalf.
Joe.
Sorry, lightning round and timestamps are hard. Metcalf here. Yeah, that I would go there.
All right, for kickers, he's got Group versus the Bears or Aubrey versus the Eagles this week.
Yeah, kickers.
So Aubrey. Are you going, Joe?
Who'd you say?
Aubrey.
He said Aubrey.
Yeah, Blake Groupie. The Groupie. Brandon Aubrey. The kid doesn't fucking miss.
Okay, and then he needs a tight end. So you're going Hawk versus the Falcons or Taysom Hill versus the Bears.
Okay, listen, Ray. With all your questions here. God, I'm trying to type. No, I'm just kidding.
Kevin answered.
Hockenson
goes first. All right.
What's the other one? So what?
It's Hockenson or Hill.
The man who shall not be named.
And his 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. All right. Jonathan Santiago says in his other league he has Jalen Hurts, Tyreek, AJ Brown, Jones, Walker, and wants to know who he should put in the flex spot. Jakobi Meyers, Tank Dell, or Mike Thomas for the floor, Kevin?
It's probably Mike Thomas, if we're being honest. Like, that dude is a walking 5 for 62 every week. Give me that.
He says, Ray throws in that he says Michael Thomas because he's getting like 4 or more catches in a game if it's PPR. All right, Joe.
Bro, you just need floor with AJ Brown and Tyreek Hill. Yeah, Michael Thomas. You don't need any amount of upside.
All right, and then Kyle Singer wants to know Mcbride or Ferguson in a full PPR.
Ferguson.
Kevin.
All these Trey McBride questions. Like, did I miss something? Jake Ferguson. Yeah, do not overthink that.
Every time somebody says Jake Ferguson, it makes me think of the Little Rascals, and it makes me think of AJ Ferguson, who my brain is weird.
Every time someone says Jake Ferguson, it makes me think of a white guy that probably shouldn't be in the NFL. Like,
I mean,
so Robert Tonyan?
Yeah, like it just doesn't feel like Robert Tonyan feels like a white farmer name, and like so does Jake Ferguson. Like,
I mean, he pretty much is. He went to Indiana State.
Yeah, like like Jake Ferguson doesn't feel real. Like Dalton Schultz.
That mother is not real.
Yeah. Blake Jarwin, name. Like that's a name, right?
Anyway, this has been
Jake Ferguson. Feels like your insurance salesman.
Jake from State Farm. If you have a question that we did not get to, make sure to hit up Club Fantasy on all of the socials at Club Fantasy FFL. Anybody who follows us or is part of the team will happily answer your questions. You will get all kinds of opinions, and then you get to filter through which ones you're going to go with. It's a real fun time. Kevin, before we leave, tell the people who you are and where they can find you.
Kevin Tompkins on X or Twitter, whichever you prefer to call it, at K Tompkins II. Do work for Fantasy Alarm. Put out a video on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube every Tuesday. Target report bullet points, as well as my full target report article every Thursday, with every route, every snap, everything you need from the previous week to help you in the week ahead.
And why were you going to contact your lawyer when I said lightning round?
Wow, I'm really bad at the plugs. Apparently, I also do a podcast every Tuesday at 1:00 with Andrew Cooper and Britt Flynn. Lightning round, a lot of fun. We go through some DFS stuff, we answer your questions, and we do waiver wire stuff. So 1:00 p.m. Eastern time every Tuesday on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel.
All right, real quick. Ramondre or Ford, Kevin?
Ramondre.
Joe?
Ramondre, and hate yourself for it.
All right, in a standard league, Tua or Burrow, Kevin?
Tua.
Joe?
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo.
I think Cincinnati wipes the floor with Buffalo on Sunday Night Football. I think they destroy them.
That's just crazy. All right, follow Club Fantasy at Club Fantasy FFL. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow Women of Fantasy Football at women_FF. Like Caesar says, Joe's taking my job from me. If you are new, subscribe. Do it. We have all kinds of fun things around here.
This was not a paid endorsement.
This was not a paid endorsement. He just likes us that much that he says to subscribe.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Follow at Joe_Zollo. More importantly, follow at Indy Fuel.
Yeah, go check out our latest TikTok and Instagram post.
Is that the one that I messaged you
the
about?
Fighting one, yeah. I thought it was hilarious.
So great.
Thank you.
So great.
My brainchild.
Because that is hip right now from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. For at FF_LeapFA, that is me. At Kevin Tompkins, This has been Start, Sit, Different Day. It's Saturday. Good luck tomorrow. Good luck this weekend. Go Dogs.
Go ADSU.